Oh, I hope I look okay. I tried to wear my cutest outfit. You know, I could do the grandpa cover the bald spot with the bald spot only, you know. You gotta have that 30s, 40s rakish angle to your stocking cap. So, anyway, I am in the midst of a video for the windshield. You may or may not have seen that already. I'm guessing it's out there before this one. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. That has kind of been put on hold for reasons known in that video. So I am right now going to turn my attention to seam sealer, brush on seam sealer in areas previously specified. Just going to go over the factory seam sealer, what's missing since replacing floor pans, and then up along the pinch weld at the base of the windshield there on the inside of the dash. And then I would really like to move on to the stick-on sound deadening mats on the ceiling, the floor, and then we can move on to flooring and headliner. You know, start making it a little more comfortable in here to work in here. Not that I want to get it dirty in there, but I don't know. We'll see what we come up with. Just get some momentum moving here already. Alright, I have no idea how old this is. It was in the other shop. So I wanted a stiffer brush, but this is what I could find. I'm gonna get a light and get up under that dash is what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah. And just, you know, work it in there. Well, the blood of Jesus is the only thing that can cover a multitude of sins, you know, basically all of them ever. But this stuff just was, I mean, a pretty poor imitation, but it did its part for the floor, you know. Anyway, maybe some things are better left unsaid. I'm going to put this away. We're going to let that cure. I'm going to go find my stick-on sound deadening panels, tiles, things. Get that going. See what else we can accomplish here. On second thought, I have one project on the inside to do yet. That is very nasty, potentially going to be very nasty, and that is the rear seat package tray and behind the rear seat backrest insulation. The original is all that kind of I don't know what you want to call it. This is jute padding, and that is, it's that really fibrous, you'll see it, I don't know. But the window leaks, the rear window leaks have just made an absolute mess of that. All right, loaded with junk in here. No, actually valuable car parts. Should probably, you know, get them out of the car, but who has time for that? Got my vacuum cleaner ready. Got a brush, wire brush, broom, big scraper. Should have done this before the window was in. Really need a mask. Here's what I'm talking about. You know, it's just, I don't know what you call it. I need that bucket. Okay. Oh, ow, that hurt. Piece of the original cardboard. Another one. Let's see if this takes it off. Oh yeah. Just gonna kind of, you know, roll that up. Time to make a trash run. Oh man, I'm making a mess. Where'd that towel go? Now, it's all coming back to me slowly, but you know, par for the course. The back insulation, I planned to keep that. So I luckily didn't start pulling that off. That's in good shape, it's solid, it's still there, so we're gonna keep it. This kit is only for the package shelf area, so there are 2 pieces of the jute and then the tar paper, or the felt, that I have to all glue on in layers. Okay, we're just horsing around and having fun now, I tell you what. Wanting to put some stuff together in the dash. I put my defrost ducts back, so on and so forth. Get our antenna installed here, you know. Nice piece of welding rod. Wanted to see if original speaker, which obviously needs help, even worked anymore, which it doesn't really matter because it's shot. Honestly, but I did want to check out the original radio as well. So I got it hooked to the boost box here. Got my Circa Y2K Sony Explodes. You know, these spent a lot of time in the back seat of a 64 Impala. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. Well, there's something going on. I don't even know the ohms of these speakers. I would have to look that up if it's even correct. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know what that means. Obviously, it means that speaker is shot because there was no sound out of it. I don't know if it... I don't know. I don't know what anything means. All right, changing the plans again. So, I'm sure it's operator error. I don't know. That glue that came with the carpet, so far it's not acting like contact cement, which I probably shouldn't expect it to. It says on the can it's for upholstery purposes. I don't know. It gets sticky. It gets tacky so far. Maybe I'm just not letting it dry long enough. I've got that first jute pad stuck on the back there, but I really don't think it's going to be too effective gluing on top of that pad and placing the next pad. You know, it's just not going to be like contact cement. So I'm going to put off continuing that. We're going to town today, so I'm going to go get a gun. I'm going to get contact cement, and we will finish that once I get back. I can be accurate enough with a gun, with the glue, that I'm comfortable moving on to the carpet. Now, I did get carpet. This originally had a rubber mat. To date, at least at the time of purchasing this carpet, I could not find anyone, including Clark's. I even called them, and no one was making, that I trust, no one was making a rubber pad factory style for a car. You can find them for maybe the trucks and the vans, but there was kind of a generic listing on eBay for a rubber mat flooring for a car, but it wasn't model specific really. Maybe they're absolutely trustworthy, maybe it would have worked great, I don't know. But in the end, I think this was basically the same price. Well, I got black, so we basically have the same look. In the end, it's probably a little quieter, a little more comfortable, and a little fancier. So it's what we're gonna have for now. Oh yeah, and it's fully padded, so we're not even gonna worry about stick-on sound deadener. So I'm going to start getting the rear lined up. I will use that glue because it was, you know, it's paid for, bought and paid for at this point. Or free, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to start installing that. Alright, so basically what we want to do is make sure we get this thing centered. I got some cutouts there for the rear seat bracketry, how that clips in. But I'm not 100% sure that's exactly lined up with our vehicle, so I'm just going to check here. Probably pretty good. I just want this padding up against the bottom corner here. And then what they want you to do, I still have that rag here? No, I don't. Oh, and I'm kneeling on seam sealer. That's great. Looks like we have plenty to go over the sill. That should be fine. I'm going to cut out for our heater vent afterwards. Alright. So, they sent along the glue for this face where it goes up and over. I forgot if I mentioned I ended up using the brush on the padding back there. I could get it to come out of that devilbus, but it just wasn't sticking. I felt like I just wasn't getting enough glue. Oh yeah, you're doing a great job here. Doing a great job, buddy. How far does that go back? Way back there. Okay. We'll just glue it the whole way. I don't know. I may end up putting some of those sound deadener tiles under the seat. I don't know if that's really necessary. We'll just see how much I have left when I'm done with the roof. Being a rear engine car, no exhaust under the floor, no hot engine, noisy engine in front of you. It's really not serious, you know, but still, the more you do, the more comfortable it is in the heat of the day or in the winter. And I plan on driving this thing, so. All right. Am I happy? Padding's up against. You look fine. It just doesn't, you know, stick. Put a little on the back. I don't know. Alright. I wore the Crocs back out here so we could just slip her off. Now, if one were to draw conclusions based on evidence, one might deduce that a little preparation before a video starts would be ideal. However, that's not how we're rolling. The glue, I can't get the... It was too liquidy. It wouldn't stick. So then I went in for 15 minutes, came back out, and nothing, you know. Now, it is a year old. They say not to use it below 60 degrees, I believe, and it's about 55 in the shop, something like that. So, who knows? I'm not blaming the product right off the bat. So, anyway, that's going to have to wait. So, I'm going to move on to the kill mat. I don't know. I'm guessing this was the cheapest thing on eBay or something. I bought this long ago as well, so we're just gonna do our best with it. We got a straight edge. Let me get you. I can't tell you guys how exciting it is to get to the interior on this thing. Of course, if you've ever done your own project, you know how that is. Let's see here. Go like that. Once I get the carpet in, I'll get the dash all together, instrument panel, and then we will start making our own new upholstery for the seats. And I've got some good stuff for that. It's gonna be fun. Need to get my little artist roller thing. I forget, what do you call those things? It's like a rolling pin on a handle. The other way, you know. Tiny rolling pin. Baby rolling pin. Okay, that is gonna get cut. Let's do this like this. All right. My cutting board. I had a ruler and a knife. Where'd they go? There's a knife. I think I put the ruler back. I wanted a short one, and I didn't get it. Luckily, they have handy dandy lines on these things. Just don't cut the carpet. Kill mat. grease zerk on this thing? I'm not even 100% sure what a guy does around the accelerator pedal, the gas pedal, the foot feed, the throttle. That's supposed to keep going up, I take it? I don't know. I think, see, this is all padding, so I think that needs to go down there. Okay, we can do that somehow. Something like that. And probably, I don't know if it's necessary to glue that, but could. So let's see if I can scoop this up. Something like that. And then that notch goes around the heater. Can we tuck this? Oh yeah, so we have lines going through, so I'm gonna have to notch it out for that, because you gotta admit an AC Corvair is probably an exception to the rule. Okay, that notches the steering column, and kind of a little shroud thing that I think this gets tucked up under. Makes that all nice and neat. Something like that. We can finish working that up later. Still got wrinkles, may have to trim it. No one said we wouldn't have to trim it. I think that is roughly how that is going to go. Alright, I got some actual DAP Weldwood contact cement. I was in Harbor Freight yesterday, I think, yeah, and I should have grabbed a paint gun, but I didn't even give that a thought. A traditional suction type, so that's okay. We saved the money there for now. The best contact cement, like I say, is the DAP Weldwood. Look for the light blue and white can. If you're shopping for it, you're gonna have to just about order it or go to a upholstery supply store to get it. It's called Landau, I think, Top and Trim adhesive. So anyway, I'm gonna spray back there, spray both parts of this, go out and spray the next piece of padding, and just start gluing. What did I do with my piece of cardboard? I don't have it. It's gone. Ah. Okay, here we go. That's a lot of pressure. Just fold this over. Work out the wrinkles. Well, I messed up, and I want to make that perfectly clear. The first way I put the padding, the insulation, was upside down. The narrow part goes up, so this ear here that is hanging out should actually be down here where these are now. I'm not going to tear that apart. When everything's dry, I will come in and trim those off, and that's not really going to make any difference at all in what's going on. But, you know, you may want to read the instructions and get it right the first time. Whatever. I have the adhesive drying on the felt, or what hillbillies like me call tar paper, you know. Let's see, I need 16 inches. And they stress very much that this is need not be too accurate. Get our L's and our I's in here. This is 3 inches, and we'll just kind of, more than anything, this is going to support the painted cardboard that goes under here. Kind of a dip there. We'll just kind of throw her on there. Throw that down there. Grab our gun. I used the straight edge and I pre-bent this piece. So hopefully it cooperates a little bit more. Yeah, just smear it all over the glass, dude. That's great. Oh, that can go way down. Okay. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, all right, guys, what we have going on here is really little more than an experiment. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I've got the same acrylic enamel in the gun that I shot on the cowling, you know, below the windshield. Have no idea what kind of result we're going to get from this colored cardboard material. All I've done is clean it. I didn't want to put any wax and grease remover, any kind of product on it that paper would soak up, you know. So I'm hoping this will kind of soak in and color it. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I also don't know what these two little bits are. I don't know if you can even see them. Whether they were sample boards or what, they were taped to the instructions that came with it. If that dries like it looks, I am going to be 100% happy with that. I'll let it cure for a little and give it a second coat. Oh, there's Billy Bob, boy. That's not his name. I'm sorry. Here's a better look at it. Just one coat, and it looks great. We're kind of in, mid-November, warm day today, 70. The kind that gets the bugs excited and the leaves are falling, so I won't be surprised if we get some trash in here. It's my car. I'm okay with what happens. Half of this is going to be hidden behind the backrest. If we need to pick stuff out, we can. But I think it's going to turn out great. This stuff dries pretty quick, too. Well, I don't think you can beat that even with a big old stick. That is, if it sticks to it, you know, stays put, that is going to look excellent. All right, I may even pull this in there and kind of get it out of the fall, you know. Again, I'm guessing these are samples. Not at all sure what that's about. So, did they come from? No, they didn't come from there. I'm not sure where they came from or what they're for. We'll figure it out. You know, it's always a nice surprise when a guy does something smart and in his own favor. I was kind of pulling my hair out, comparing at least how I was interpreting the instructions that came with the new piece, and trying to get that to go in the car. It just wasn't making sense that these flaps would go in pockets, which I thought is what I read. Thankfully, I did have the old one yet. I was really worried I threw it away. But we see, and to be clear, maybe on certain models they did. This is the same part number from Clark's for the fold-down seat and the non-fold-down seat. So it's a universal part. Maybe they did things a little bit differently between the two, and maybe there was some differences through the years. This is a 65 to 69 piece for any coupe, basically, regardless of what you got. So, obviously, all of our sides get folded up, and that's just how they are. So I am going to get busy doing that and putting creases where I need them all. I already kind of have the first two done. That should be bending, that should be bending. So now, actually, I'm going to work on these flaps, I think. yep, that was the secret. That was the way. We're looking pretty good, actually. The paint stayed up through the bending process, so I'm not worried at all about that. Now there's two metal standoffs right here. Sorry about that. And that's what our bracket for our seat back goes to. So I'll install that next. This was the next thing that confused me, because on the back side it's been painted. I was like, there's no way that can be correct, because your hooks for your seat are on the wrong side, you know. It's galvanized, it's not rusted, so I think perhaps when this car was repainted they had this out and they painted the wrong side. It is all I can figure out. So anyway, I don't know, but we've got some screws to put in there, get that secure, and then a couple on the bottom, and then we will call this part of it done. Get the other old boot off. Okay, now I hope this is the last time that this thing has to go in and hopefully not come back out again. I threw the old one on top of this one and marked my holes and drilled them in there. I'm really not expecting great things out of that, but we'll see. Oh, you don't do that. Come on, there we go. Huh? Huh? Okay. Something like that. And what's your problem? What are you got on there? Get under there. All right. Okay, I think. All right. Gotta see what we need to do here. Like that. Like that. All right. Everything's cinched down, and this little job is complete. Still need to fix the very back end of this. That all tucked up in there. Oh, I need to trim that piece of insulation. If I can. All right. Still use more trimming. Anyway, had I been thinking about it, it also would have been smart while I was painting this to paint the plastic trim that goes around it. I got new stuff because the old was, of course, completely brittle and just breaking apart. Clark sells the new stuff, but it comes in black, just the raw black plastic, and you have to paint it. So that is no sweat. We will get that done sooner or later. get these sill plates cleaned up. And we have quite a bit of overspray, green overspray. As you can see, I was kind of played around just with steel wool and glass cleaner, and it was coming off. It was stubborn, but it was working. I'm just going to let this soak with paint remover and see if that helps. Now, I did not want to do that. I was going to try so hard not to get it on the Fisher logo, assuming that might be a detriment. And there we go, mission accomplished. Certainly there are better sill plates in the world, but right now these are kind of priceless to me because I already own them and they will do the job. There are some spots that, you know, I'll probably take a hammer and knock out the bigger dents. I mean, they've been used and abused through the years, and they're meant to step on, they're meant to get scuffed up. I've got a crack here right at a screw point that I'll have to repair in some way, but you know, it's gonna work for what it is. Maybe someday we can replace them, get some nicer ones, but anyway. Alright, well, now don't worry, these seats are not how they're going to be long term. It's just while I was wrapping up this video, I wanted to get in here and figured we might as well be a little civilized about it, you know. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to end this. I think we've gotten through a lot so far on this one, and we have a lot more to do. The next video, barring any catastrophic events, should be me installing the windshield and the back glass. I've got a little bit more to do on there, but we're almost done. And then, in order to install our sill plates, I need kick panels. They are so faded and disgusting. I've got to decide what I'm going to do with them. I've got to install those first, then the sill plates. Other than that, we need to put basically our entire instrument panel, dash, everything there back together, headliner, trim it out, and then we can focus on seats. And then this thing is pretty much back on the road. So I have got to start looking for some parts. There's a lot of things we need to finish putting it back together, and a lot of things that would just be nice to have. We can, you know, they're details that can wait, but they need to be replaced. Just like this broken plastic trim finishes out this piece here, and I don't have either one. They're obviously, they've been brittle and completely missing for years. So anyway, we've gotten a lot done on this one, and so we are going to say thank you so much for watching. God bless you. We'll see you on the next one. Nap or back to work? I guess back to work. Darn it.